Anyway, where I was going with that was because we're in the mid-semester break right now, so last Uncle Albert and I decided that if we were gonna do a North Island trip, we better do it this week while was off from a break from lectures and tutorials and such. So we went up to Rotorua. So we started on Saturday after a very exciting morning for me. I got to see my second graders, or mom's second graders, not so much my second graders anymore, but I got to read them. I read them The Incredible Book-Eating Boy and Swim, which has a kissing scene in it, at which they ewed! And last week on my not last week, but 2 weeks ago on my birthday, they sang me happy birthday. It was very nice of them, and I have a video of them singing happy birthday. I mean, they're not exactly in tune, but hey, it was really cool, and I really liked it, and I was really happy to have them, and I kept showing people, like, look at my second graders! Only a couple people, like 2 or 3, but it was very exciting. I was very happy, and it was really fun to read them a story from halfway across the world, and I think they enjoyed it too. And then we left for Taupo, and we got to Taupo late that evening. We got to see the lake with the sunset over it. It was nice. We arrived at the hotel to find a bloke and the manager having it out. They were having quite a row, and I'm assuming there was quite a bit more before we got there. Otherwise, the hotel manager was being a jerk. But to be fair, the other guy was being kind of rude as well. But he was very nice and polite to us, and we got our room, and it was alright. It was kind of small, but we were only staying there for one night, and we went to a place for dinner called the Mole and Chicken, like mole as in the guy that digs in your garden. It was really good food. I had schnitzel, and then I had schnitzel the next night too, but we won't go there yet. And the next day we went to this rafting place. We didn't actually go rafting, but we went to this place, and they had like a cinema, and they call it the 60 cinematic rafting thing, or cinematic adventure, whatever. And it was basically an advert for their what they offer. You sit in these seats, and they tilt, and they spray water and wind in your face, and it was pretty cool. And they showed off skydiving and bungee jumping and helicopter trips and rafting and jet boats, which was really cool. And I was like, I want to do all of those things except maybe the helicopter trip, because I don't like helicopters. But it was really cool, and I decided after that I wanted to go rafting, because I haven't been since Fish Week, and it was really fun then, and I thought, hey, why not? And no experience necessary, it says on the website, and I have one rafting trip experience, so I called later that afternoon and booked a rafting trip, which I did not go on. I'll get to that in a minute. And then we went to a place called Craters of the Moon. It's a thermal park, because Rotorua area, that whole stretch up by the lake, Rotorua Lake, which I don't remember the name of, but Ruapehu area is all geothermal, and it's all sulfury, and it stinks crazy. But it was really cool to look at. I got lots of pictures of it, and I'm going to post them as soon as I get done with this. We went through Craters of the Moon Park, which was very interesting. Walkway through all these things. It was wooden walkways and gravel, and it was really interesting. And I guess you'll see from the pictures, but it was really cool, and I'm glad we went. And then I went to a place called Wai'otapu. Wai'otapu. It was not one word, 3 words with hyphens, and that was really cool. And you got to see all these sulfur pools. I had all the colors. And there was one that was called Devil's Bath, I think it was, and it was green. You look at it, it was like, holy cow, that's green! Why is it green? It was very green. Like, and the pictures cannot do it justice. It was green, like lime green, very green, very green. But it was really cool and very stinky and quite warm. Luckily, I forgot to wear shoes. I forgot to take my shoes with me. I packed 4 pairs of socks and no shoes. And I'm not the kind to wear socks and sandals, so I was wearing my sandals. My feet were quite warm because of the sulfur ponds, and you can see things boiling. It's like, oh, that's really hot. Lots of signs that say, caution, it's hot. It's like, yes, there's steam and boiling and mud is bubbling, and of course it's hot. But it was really cool. Very hot, very stinky. I've said that already, but that's okay, because it was very hot and stinky and cool. It was very beautiful, though, and I got to play with my camera quite a bit. I discovered the manual setting and discovered how to work it, which I discovered even more on Tuesday. But anyway, and something went wrong, apparently, because the next morning, when I was scheduled to get up early and get to the information center to be picked up by the rafting trip and go rafting on the Kaituna in the highest raftable waterfall, 7 meters tall. It was so excited. And I threw up. And then proceeded to throw up twice more. And then Uncle Wilbert took me to urgent care, and they told me, "You're probably just gonna throw up again. Let it run its course." And they gave me some anti-nausea tablets, which are in the bathroom now. But yeah, I was like, why do I need to go to the urgent care? I mean, the anti-nausea tablets, I took one, and then I threw up half an hour later. I was like, oh, that's lovely, thanks for that. And then I took another one a bit later, and threw up 45 minutes after that. I was like, oh, that's great. I threw up a total of 6 times, which is more than I think I've ever done, and spent the day sleeping and reading, and it was not fun at all, and Rotorua stinks very badly. So when you're sick, and you have the smell of rotten eggs in your hotel room, it was not at all pleasant. It was a nice-ish hotel, though. Got very familiar with the bathroom and the toilet. But Uncle Wilbert went on a bike tour that we had been planning on going on, and he said it was a lot of fun, and the tour guide was fantastic. And I wish I had gone, but I guess I enjoyed my day as much as I possibly could. I got some applesauce. Barker's applesauce. It was so good. It's really good applesauce. Also, the doctor that I saw at the urgent care was from had lived in Reedsport for a while, which was like, oh, it's a small world, isn't it? Because he saw I was from Cottage Grove on the chart, and he's like, oh, I used to live in Reedsport. I was like, oh, hey, I have relatives there. You're not one of them. And apparently he didn't know any of them, but whatever. It's not like I listed them all, and he went, do I know have I ever met this person? But he didn't recognize the name Leslie Chapman off the top of his head. it was like, okay, I have an American doctor from Reedsport in Rotorua. And the next day, on Tuesday, that was on Monday, so Anzac Day, my lovely Anzac Day, did not get to do any Anzac things, or at all. Also, the day before that, on the way up to Taupo, we stopped at the Army Museum and walked through that, which was very interesting. The National Army Museum in Taupo. Or actually, it's not in Taupo, it's in Wairua. But it was very, very lovely. We stopped on our way home and had lunch there. Very good banana muffin, but not a very good pie. Well, it was a good pie, but too many eggs. I guess I was sick of eggs for a while there. But on Tuesday morning, I was feeling much, much better. And we went to the Ohine something or other. It was a Maori village, and there was an Anglican church on Catholic land there. Beautiful church, and the lady was very nice. She was sitting there. We had to give it we didn't have to give a donation, but they requested a donation on people coming in. And the lady was very nice. And if I can find them, to the first 4 women that came in, she gave a pair of earrings. And yes, I'm not taking that to the bag because they're paying that back in, but they're peacock feather earrings for free. It was a very pretty church and a very interesting Maori village. And we went to this big bathhouse thing. We went inside, but we didn't go through the museum. And talked about that for a while. It was pretty cool. Apparently, it used to be it got started in 1850s somewhere, in the 1850s or 1870s, I don't remember. But it was just finished in 2011. It's now a museum, not a bathhouse. And so they finished it over 100 years later. So I understand where Daddy gets his procrastination genes from. It's a New Zealander trait, apparently, that everybody you don't finish things. You just work on them slowly. So that's where Daddy gets it, and why the projects are so slow to finish. But it was fun. Then we went to Cambridge and found our next hotel. The nicest of them all, Cambridge Hotel, was Captain's Quarters Inn. It was very nice. But and then we had the best day ever. But put that in a different video because I've run out of room and this one is going to be too long. So the morning after Hobbiton, we went and drove home. 6-hour drive from Cambridge to Wellington. We split it into 4. And Gilbert drove an hour and a half, then I drove an hour and a half, and then he drove an hour and a half. Actually, after the second one, we stopped for lunch. It was perfect. He drove for an hour and a half. He stopped on the side of the road to let a car by, and we switched. And then I drove for an hour and a half, and just as we hit 12:30, or 3 hours after we left, we hit the Army Museum, and we had lunch there, and then we had an hour and a half drive. Actually, he drove for about an hour. We got to Bulls, and then I switched to driving in Bulls, and then I drove for about was almost 2 hours actually. I drove for slightly longer, but he took over. We stopped at Michelle's house in Pukerua Bay, Pukerua Bay, and we stopped there for about half an hour. He had a cup of tea. I did not because I could not eat anything. Because I would be like, oh, I feel sick and I don't want to throw up again. So, lovely dog, Michelle's dog sitting for her sister who's moving from Australia. But lovely, friendly dog. Like to lick though, unfortunately. Like, stop licking my pants, dang it, dog. It's a very friendly dog, like a fluffy retriever dog. Had a wizard face, was very sweet. But shaggy, very long, not long-haired, but longish hair. And then we drove home. We were very excited to get home. And then we went to Joe's house and had fish and chips with her mum, and it was very nice. We showed them our pictures, and then I came home and went to sleep pretty quickly after that, actually. But it was a lot of fun, and I very much enjoyed it. And aside from the very disappointing Monday, being sick all day in Rotorua, it was a very fun trip. We went to a chain restaurant on Sunday night, called Cobb & Co. Had some schnitzel and some lovely dessert. And that's what I was going to mention earlier, but I forgot. We were going to go to Lone Star, another chain restaurant. These are chain restaurants like Red Robin, Red Lobster, Outback Steakhouse, something like that. But really good food. I mean, as far as food goes, I mean, you go to these places because you know the food is good. Very packed. This one's very child friendly, but there's a Lone Star right out there, so we can just go to that whenever. There's not a Cobb & Co. in Wellington though, apparently. So, but yes, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be home now. Apparently on Saturday we're doing a dancing thing. Uncle Bert's judging for a dancing competition, and he asked if I could help with it. Apparently, so I get to do volunteer work in New Zealand. Hooray! And then Monday we're back to the SPCA and classes and lectures. Because it's May, and as I mentioned earlier, 4 weeks of classes in May. And then it's over. Wow. That really doesn't seem like that far away now.